Ashley and you're Kicking with Ash. Today we are going to start the semester series that I plan to produce every week or two, videos for you to understand play by play how to navigate college within a semester. Okay, there's certain things that I feel like you should know and you should just have in the back of your head, so that way when it come about you're like, oh, Ashley said this, right? But if anything, it just helps you move and navigate college a little bit better for you. Okay, so we are at this moment pre-gaming. You've already moved into your dorms, you moved into your apartments. If you're living on campus, if you're not living on campus, that's fine. You have about a week or two before school starts. So these are a few tidbits that I think you should know before school starts to help you start the semester right. So number one, get your parking decal. If you haven't gotten your parking decal and you plan to drive to and from campus, or if you live on campus and you plan on driving to and fro, get your parking decal. Why? Because if your campus gives you a ticket, those tickets can end up being a hold on your account that can stop you from doing a lot of things later down the semester, including registration, depending on the school's policy. So make sure you get that parking decal, or just don't park on campus. That's just going to be your best bet, because they have no problem slapping a ticket on your car real quick. Okay, and those tickets will rack up. They start around $25. I've been at 4 different schools. They start about $25 and then they work their way up. Don't play with parking. You will get a ticket if you don't have that parking decal. Number two, your ID. Now, majority of the time, majority of schools may or may not require you to have your ID with you or on you or whatnot, but it is important to have your ID, because if your professor asks for it for tests, then you need it for that situation. If you need the ID to get into any activities like football games, basketball games, you need it in that way. Not all IDs have your student ID number on it. So if that's the case, you need to memorize your number, or what I did, kind of lame, but whatever. I took a sticky note, I wrote my student number on the back, I taped it to the back of my ID, and called it a day. So that is the other easy way for you to go about having your ID and your student number. It's really important to have your student number. A lot of you guys have common first names and last names, and then you combine those two. There's a lot of Coopers, there's a lot of Smiths, there's a lot of Blacks, Johnsons, you know the common names. We don't have the time to look for you by your name or your birthday or your social security. You should never give out your social security or your birthday to a college campus. We always ask for your student number. At this point in time, if they're still asking for a social security number for your ID number, that's a problem. We're in 2021, technology has evolved, the school needs to evolve. You should never be using your student number as your social security number. But I digress, because every school is different. When I went to school in 2001, yes, 20 years ago, they were using social security numbers. So what does that say about a lot of things? We ain't gonna talk about that. Okay, so make sure you have your student ID, and then make sure you have your student card as well. Okay, so we talked about parking decal, we talked about student ID, books. Now, if you've gotten your books, that's great. If it's saran wrapped, leave it alone. Leave it alone. Do not crack open that book until you go to the first day. The professor goes over the syllabus and says, hey, you need this book. Make sure the book is the same book that the professor talks about before you break the seal. If you break the seal before the professor has confirmed that book and you have the wrong book, the bookstore may not give you that return, even if you have the receipt, and it's because you broke the seal. And it'll say it on there. Do not break the seal. Don't break it until the professor confirms it. Okay, that's number one. Okay, that's if you got your books beforehand. Now, if you're waiting to get your books when the professor for first day, that's fine. Get your syllabus, let the professor confirm it. But this is where you may run into a glitch. If the bookstore did not order enough books, and it does happen, then you may not have a book by the time after first class. And if there's an assignment due by that weekend, that's where you're going to hit a snag. So if you want to make sure they have the books, go ahead and get the books and then do it. But if you're going to go the other way, if you're going to wait for the professor to confirm it, take somebody's name in the class. That way, someone you can study with, maybe, but not even study with. If life happens and you got to miss class, sometimes it's good to have that buddy like, hey, can I get the notes from you? Not everybody's going to do that, and make sure you find somebody that is a studious person and not somebody that's gonna pretty much they're just there for the fun, for the money. They're not there for school. You pick that person, you both may be out, and then you're stuck, right? So make sure you pick a responsible person to be your classroom buddy. That way you guys can help each other out. Okay, now going into that, you also want to do that with your roommates. You are there early for you to know your roommates, to know other people that live on campus. Make sure you meet other people outside of your roommates. And I say this wholeheartedly. When shit goes down in your apartment, you're going to go to somebody else to talk to them. And what you don't want is not to have anybody to talk to. So get names and numbers of other people that don't live with you, because those can be your buddies. You can also get somebody in the classroom. Those can be your buddies as well. That is how you started to network and started to grow your now college friends, right? So this is the very beginning of a lot of things. Make sure you choose wisely in who you hang out with, most importantly. But all in all, enjoy yourselves. Now you are walking into the first week, and I don't plan to put on a video next week. So with that being said, this is the last piece that's really important. The first week of school gives you an opportunity to add and drop classes. Meaning, if you're not happy with the time, the location, the professor, you're just not feeling it, at that time you have the opportunity to drop a class and pick up another section of the same class, or pick up another class altogether. Depending on the school, you may have 3 to 5 days to make this adjustment. After that deadline, depending on your school, once you surpass that deadline, you no longer can add a class to your schedule. So that professor that you should have changed classes, you should have changed on them. Now you are stuck with that professor. Technically not, though, because your other option is just to completely drop the class, withdraw from it, and you'll just have a W on your transcript. If you're okay with taking that L and having that W on your transcript, do that. But if you're not a fan of that and you're not ready to have a W on your transcript yet, then that means you're going to stay in the class, you're going to learn the professor's teaching style, so that way your learning style is comparable to that. That way you can make the best grade possible and you move forward to the next class. Now I will tell you this, your English, your math, and your sciences, you need to make sure day one that you are happy with your professors, because you still got to do English too, you still may have to do another math, or you may still need to do another science. What we don't want you to do is push your classes off another semester because you're not happy with the professors you pick. Remember, you made your schedule. So you either pick the best times that you wanted, or you pick the professors that you wanted. If you're not happy with it, this is something you just need to be aware of for registration the next time, okay? Now remember, this is the first week. This is pre-gaming, so before school starts, this is right up until school starts. So I hope all this information will help you within the first week of school. Other than that, enjoy yourself. Get lost in what college is. It's about the academics, but it's also that college life. Blend it together, have a good balance, and you'll be on your way. If you have any questions for me, please drop it in the comment section, or you can email me. I'll put my email in the description box. I look forward to talking to you very soon. I wish you the very best, and I look forward to you into the 3 weeks. Have a great day.